there's a few things that I want to ask you. One, I wanted to make sure ask you how your day was going, because it's interesting to me that, like, I met you out, amongst the scene in the culture. Like, you are so in deep in the culture. It always surprises me, the type of people that I meet and the talent. Like, a lot of people don't realize the type of talent that's here in Buffalo. So I'm curious as to, how you even started. And so go ahead and please feel comfortable. But I want you to introduce yourself and also just say, I want you to up yourself, because what I do realize is that representation is so powerful. And when people see that they're doing stuff that they may be interested in, and knowing somebody in their community is doing it, it's always powerful.
Right.
So you can go ahead and introduce yourself.
Yo, what up? This is the one and only this is this is the one and only this is the one and only this is the one and only Cee Gee in the place to be. I'm a producer, DJ, collector, and historian, and all the other things.
Okay. Which one is like one of your biggest passions, CJ? Like, everybody knows that you produce music, but you also mentioned that you're a historian. Is that one of your passions as well? Like, that's something that you could see yourself doing, and you could do it for free?
Well, at the time, when I started doing what a historian came together with that, I just kind of like I just look up some things, because I spend a lot of time on the computer. I spend a lot on the computer, and also I witnessed a lot of the things that was going on, and not only in technology but the culturally. Because me born in I was born in 1990. And
okay.
Yeah, I was born in 1990, and then I got started to acknowledge, because my folks my folks, because we had music around the house, and then back then, like, the only access the music was listen to radio, you watch TV on the with the music videos, or just going through your folks' collections.
So you come back from those days. So you used to. I'm just trying to picture the younger Cee Gee going through the record collection, especially because you were born in the '90s. So you came right in the cusp of when the music was kind of changing over from so much R&B driven, but we still had that sound in there. Like '90, that's a really good year for music to be born, because you kind of in the middle of it. So I'm thinking about you in your at home going through the record collection. So what did that look like for you? Were you just listening to it, or were you one of those little kids that used to scratch up your mom's records, your mom and dad's records, your parents, your guardians?
Well, that too, and then also going through, because at the time we had that too, or just going through like CDs and tapes. Because that was.
So you weren't even in the record. So
I do.
So how did you make that work with the CDs? I'm so interested in. And keep in mind, like, I know nothing about the production and stuff. This is so new for me, but I'm always interested what brings a record to fruition from the infants, from the sounds, because a lot of times it's the sounds that grab a person. And then if you add the words to it, it just makes it so powerful. And by you being on that side of, like, you are that person that's also doing that. I'm just thinking, you as a kid listening to some of the CDs, how would you make that work to put that together?
Either I'm listening. Well, at the time, my dad was, my late dad was like listening to music in the house, and then sometimes my brother or sometimes my sister listening to music in the house. I just kind of glued in. I just kind of glue in, and then then the sound wise that I just kind of I like vibe into it, and then like same thing with the tapes too, and then you're vibing into it, and then like I mean that kind of got one of the and then sometimes that like because we had like back then we had stereos like, and then sometimes
Yeah.
like we had those like those fives like 2 or 3 like changers,
Oh.
and then like we used to have those 5 or 4 or 3 2 CD changers
Oh yeah,
stereos.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and then yeah, I've always like you like touch them, and this back at the time this is when like you can't just touch them, but I kind of like glue it and just keep one another the sound, and then like me getting into it. The same time that like not just like music I was glued in, I also glued in like watching TV and play video games as well.
Okay. Okay. Are you the type of person that, like, I meet different creatives and I'm always interested in how, what brings out any type of creativity or anything that, interests that person. And like you mentioned historian, is it music, or is it like strictly like history of like the world? What type of history?
Well, it's more like culturally history, because things that like that who did who, or what songs behind it, or even the things even I witnessed it, or even when I kind of got when I started becoming an artist, like I kind of like tell it back, like break down, like even when like later I kind of broke down about the things I witnessed it, or even the things I kind of started, because I like telling stories about like what I witnessed it, or even things, because like giving folks the like interesting facts about like what either project or songs I produce, or even or even like on some fan perspective, like fan perspective, what I did, because I know much about like what I did, even in some of like even in some of the things that some like unpopular opinions, because like internet is such a like huge debatable, but
It really
even
is, CG, because so many people, there's so much stuff out there. You really have to pick and choose what you are listening to. So I feel like you, just because I've seen you out and about, I love like you dress the culture. Your whole vibe really speaks to the culture. So I guess I'm not surprised about it. What strikes you most about back then, as far as the fashion, the music, the drive, compared to what you are seeing now?
um the fashion means that like I just kind of like finding I just kind of like stay I just kind of find my little niche of who I am separately, because like if we know like I like to rock like my Applejack, I like to rock my bucket hats, because like and then sometimes like, I do a little like chain and my wood chain and something stuff, because that cause like they all want to rock something, and that's more like and cause like, and also that I can't follow what others do. I don't like the thing about me is that I don't like follow what others doing, because that I've been kind of like because that I mean I used to hated it when at the time I was growing up, like, or even that I had to follow what was popular, back then. back then. Like, even though we do say twins now, but back then it was too much gimmick. It was too much gimmick that was me growing up. Like we went from like we went from like we went from like the baggy era into like the skinny. By the time I got older, even we went to the skinny outfits.
I feel like that you more adopted the what it was back in the days. That's what I wish some of that would come back, because I think it's timeless. Like that's timeless fashion right now, and many people may not even realize that. Like from the hat to the chain, it reminds me of what the fashion was in the 90s, like around the time you were being born. And then also like the sound that you put out also reminds me. So do you think that was one of the major influences, like the time, like little Cee Gee was born, you was born, like it was a music phenomenon around that time happening. By the time you would have been listening to it and absorbing it, it was really like mid 90s. That was a beautiful time for.
Oh yeah, I was I kind of like by the time I got like 7 or 8 years old, or not, or even 9, I got into it more, because like me, you know, what I used to do is that you know, back then I used to buy like I used to buy like cassettes, my own cassettes, like, and then, you know, just make what I used to do is that I used to go through my folks or collections and just pick and choose like album cuts or singles, and then just record them, make my own tapes. Because originally,
even back then, how old were you when you started doing that? I think your light went out because your yep, there you go.
Because originally it was supposed to be because I started I was like 9. Well, I was like 9 going to 10.
Oh wow!
Because like when I was you know, during in the holidays that we had on stereos.
That's what's up. So
we had we got it on stereos, and that was when like I went from like the cassettes and went from the CDs. You know, that was when the burning CDs was starting like the transition, when 2000s starting to transition. And then, you know, originally I want to be a DJ.
Did you? No, I didn't know that.
Yeah, originally I was want to be a DJ.
Oh wow! So what got you from wanting to be a DJ? I guess it's kind of intermingling if I think about it. You wanted to be a DJ, but you ended up venturing more into the actual production of the music. How did that happen?
Well, you know, me listening to music almost all the time, and then by the time I got like my teenage years, that's when I got addicted to the sounds. I got addicted to the sounds of the music, because that was when like and that was around the time when because you know, we can't you know, I come from the era like in the 90s. That was when like the Tribe Called Quest and the Wu-Tang and Gang Starr and the Pete Rock era was inspired. 2000s, that was like when like the Ruckus, and then Kanye West with the early Kanye West stuff, and then Little Brother, which the Knife Wonder was like he was a producer of the group at the time, and MF Doom, or rest in peace. That was when I started getting into the underground music.
Okay.
Yeah.
And were you aware of who Divine and Debonair were at that time?
I used to like you know, not until later, or because I do know his son though.
Yeah.
I knew his kid, Twan, because Cause I used to and also he's on my album too.
Oh, big shout out Prince Killer. Big shout out. Do you see that often in the industry that families kind of tend to trend in the same circle as far as the entertainment industry?
Well, actually, I've already seen it because like my dad, my dad was a priest. He was a cameraman for the BCTV.
Oh wow!
Yeah,
Oh wow!
he has he had his own TV show, Buffalo. It's called Buffalo Talent Showcase. And
So you were around it, okay?
Yeah.
See that's why I always say, Cee Gee, I think that when you are in it, it helps cultivate what's already inside of you.
Right.
You know, so that's a good thing. It was meant for that to happen. That it was just like brewing what Cee Gee is becoming even now.
And also, let's add to that. I got an older brother who he was already in. I got an older brother. He was already in the scene. He was managed this group called Off the Block, which is it was an R&B group, and it was a 4-man group, and then one of them you may know him as John L. And then this was around because they used to because I saw them kind of again. This is when I was tapped in some of the music that was going on in our city, but I was mad young that I wasn't even get into it. By the time that because I used to go cause they did some rehearsing at my house and in the basement, and then they did something rehearsing, and then they was about to get into the first thing that was going to, but by that time my brother had to go on vacation for a couple of years, and then by the time he got back, that was when it went from 4-man to the 2-man, and then that's when I was already starting to wear this label called Buff City Records.
I've heard of them. Yep.
And that's how I knew about DJ Shay early.
Mm-hmm. I always hear about DJ Shay and Rough Buff City. That kind of opened my eyes to what was going on in Buffalo, hearing about them. And this was and rest in peace. This was after the fact, coming back. I'm so I did not realize how much of the culture is right here in Buffalo until 3 years ago, coming back, 20, 3 years ago. And that's how we ended up meeting. And I continue to see you no matter what type of event I see you out and about, which tells me you are really, really tapped in with the culture, and you do it in such a way that you aren't even trying to make a name for yourself. You are really just tapped in with the culture. And it just thinking about growing up, how you were growing up with your dad and then your brother and stuff. Do you think that kind of helped mold you into what it is that you are doing, even when you are out networking with people?
It didn't really start that till so around the time. So let me go a little 20 years back. So around that time that when so around the time that and keep in mind this is when this is going 2000s that I was already aware of DJ Shay, and then the same time I was developing myself with my to DJ and a little bit producing, and then that was when go to producing. I started to get ears of producing. This is when download era was starting to come.
Okay.
Yeah. This is LimeWire era, and then that was when I was starting to get a little that was when I wanted to start to get I needed to start to get access of more music, because that was when because that was at the time that the music was starting. The music that was coming out by that time was shifting. Because like we went from like the more traditional to the more modern sound. Because that was when like modern sound and like 20 years ago, which is like 2005, that was when the music was starting to get a little bit started getting more trendy. Yeah, more trendy, and that was like my downfall of what was about to come out, and I started like losing my teenage. I was a teenager at the time, and then me getting into like and then like I was starting listening to like more the music that was out, by the time that was not in the scene. I can start listening in the scene that I have ways that I can go start finding like the sound. And even when YouTube was starting to YouTube was starting to exist too. Cause like I could get access to the music videos that I used to watch or never watched before, or anything.
Hang on 1 second. Hang on 1 second. I'm sorry. Let me just. This is. All right. I meant to put it on Do Not Disturb. Another reason to whatchamacallit, but I apologize for that, Cee Gee. Continue.
Yeah, so and then and also and keep in mind this is around this is when ringtone era was like the ringtone era was starting to popularize, like even like Soulja Boy was popular, and then also social media was starting like it started that they trying to get them more on that sound. And even though I'm around that age when he was starting to popularize, but I was in a different but I was a different cat at 17, 16-year-old. I was very down on earth, and then like I didn't have any friends that cause it was hard that like you're trying to get friends to listen to what I listened to, like at the time, like, and then it didn't. I never really tell because like and because it was like I didn't really start because I was still getting in the DJ, and then I didn't have. That's why I never, to this day, I never really thought about pick up the mic and started rapping, or because I never really hit, because I didn't like how I sounded with the spitting different music. And then if I do it, and then some of the producers will be sending me some corniness, and I wouldn't be sounding how I sounded. And then, but at the about that time, and then. And then like once after like and once after that and then my brother kind of transitioned to like managing to the promotion promotion, because that was when like the town ballroom was starting, like era was starting like shifting, and party scene was shifting at the time.
Okay.
Yeah, it was shipping at the time, and then plus my dad, was starting to get sick during, around that at the time. And I started like, and then once after, once after he passed in 2008, and also I was 2008, and then. I had a near-death experience, and also I was and me had a near-death experience, and then also I lost interest, so what was out culturally at the time, and then like and then it picks back up like a year later, because I started going to the Tri-Main Center, which that's how we met. But this is 2009, by the way. So 2009, I got trans. My best friend at the time, he was starting to go in this program called Occupational Training Center, which is short for OTC. That's how like I started like get myself situated, and then I started going out of town because I got a cousin who's he's a good family of mine. He started he was already establishing himself as an artist and producer, engineer at the time, and then I was out of town because my uncle had a birthday, at the time, and then he and then one of the days that I was in the studio, and that's how I picked up the one record, and then my cousin showed me how to make a beat, and he showed me to make this first beat that I did through him, and then that was the start of me getting into the production.
Oh wow! Were you, when you are in that moment making that beat, do you feel more alive? Like that's so you can feel like a certain connection to the beat that you're making?
I knew I had something because I knew I had something that like I feel like I like because after I made my first beat, I wish because by the time I came home, because mind you, I did that first beat in Virginia.
Mm.
Yeah, because my cousin with them was staying. We went to me and my family went to Virginia, and I came back home. I want to do more, but I didn't have no computer. I didn't have no software. I had no machine. I didn't have
People
anything.
around you doing it also
No,
to show you how to do it? Nothing.
no, because mind you, I was 19 years old, and then nobody. I didn't have any. I didn't have any circle. I didn't have any circle that can like no, because most people that I was around was rappers. Until like at the same time when I was in the program, I met one.
Mm.
And then, but he was more. But I met this guy. His name. I met this guy that he was because he ended up being my classmate, and also he lives a block from me too. He was telling me like he was the MC, but and also he's a year older than me, and he was telling me that we were started clicking up because we was looking at the same thing because at the time that was like the model rappers that was what was hot at the time, but we was like on the same page.
Okay.
Like like he's more the lyrical. I was I was more like the real '90s sound, and that was like the perfect match. And then he was also he the one that put me on to the guys who became successful today. Yeah, because he tapped. Yeah, he the one that tapped me in Benny early.
Oh wow, that's good that you. That's the other thing that I respect about you, just out here. You don't lead with like the people that you know, and I'm glad that you tapped in with Benny early on because you got to see the work in all of them. Well, all of them. You got to see the work that they actually were doing to get to where they are now.
I did, but eventually, eventually that I didn't meet them until like a 5 years later.
Mm-hmm.
Because this is 2009, this is 2009 going 2010. Like I was because he was telling me about Benny, and then also Conway, which at the time, he was Conway then, but then he was like transitioned from Canada to Conway, and I didn't know nothing about Westside Gunn yet, but then because he was still he was on a vacation as well at that time. Yeah, so I didn't know them until around the time that I started until like 10 years ago.
You started taking yourself seriously?
Well, after like so around the time that when I started the so me and my partner we was already like clicking the doing like something together, but at the time he was already out of the picture of stopped doing music for personal reasons, and me and him was starting to click, and then was starting to click like we was doing like demos like me on some DJ role like we just I would just pick up I just picked like instrumentals, some of the instrumentals that for him to rap over, and then I was just on some like a DJ mixtape thing, and then we just doing like demos, him just spinning on the speaker phones or something like that, and then it just connected to the just connected to the speakers, and then just trying to make like a little demo vibes.
Oh wow!
And then like by the time he kind of got away with it, he got away with it like to get his stuff situated. I did the same thing. I started. That was when like I was in that program for 2 years. Because and then after, because he graduated like a year before I did, and then afterwards, like I was by myself, and I was like, and then that was when I was like, I started, I started working, I started like, and by the time I started working, that was when I started, I bought the software that that you could start creating your own beats, and then I use Magic Music Maker, and then it's like early 2010s, well actually 2011, and that's when and then I installed it, and then I could already gather like some samples, I gathered some drum kits and everything to get prepared, and then once I started like load it, and then rest is history.
Was it like Christmas for you once you started? That was your happy place?
Well, when I start, that was my that was my happy place when I would start working, and because I would start working, and then it didn't, because I wouldn't be doing this now if it wasn't for the position that I wouldn't be having it, like because by that time I was on my way out of the program, and they kind of helped me like get myself situated, so because I wouldn't be persistent, and then I would, and then I was telling folks about that I want to start doing music, and keep in mind, like when I started doing music, that was when another shift in music shifting was that was when drill rap was starting to come in. The drill rap,
other sound.
Yeah, the drill rap was starting to come in. So I didn't like, because I don't know nobody who can rap in my beats, and then it was still like me and it was still with my partner, but he was starting going out of town, and I was still, at the time I was working, I was still making beats, I was still working, still making beats at the time, and then like and then that's how like and then like I was kind of unofficially doing my own tapes, because like I started also rap started to pick back up, because that was when Cole, Kendrick, and Rhapsody, Tyler, Mark Marciano, and then they started to pick back up with the balance of the music that I would listen to, the balance that I like then, because that was like the mixtape, feel like a real albums now at the time, and then I started interested in of course Joey Badass, like on that. That was when like I started, and then I listened to those, that kind of influenced the like the my ears. And then like I want to start like doing I kept doing music wise, and that's how I met and then what I've been doing music for myself for like a couple of years until like around like 13 to 14. That's how I met Brendan, who owns the studio, Bridge Studio.
Do you have mentioned the different shifts in music? Do you feel that there's about to be another shift in the music that we listen to right now?
I mean, I can't recall it because it's been a lot. I didn't see a lot of the changing. I seen a lot of changing in the way as far as like music wise. It started like get back because like even though especially we're past, even though we're over 50 now with the hip hop. I mean we're over 50 because we're going to 52 this year.
Mm-hmm.
And then
it's about to be 52. Dang.
Yep. And
then do you think that is? Go ahead.
And then cats around like cats around like 50 years old that they still dropping music and still touring. And still touring. And meanwhile, that a lot of younger heads that they can't really keep up with the like touring and also how to push the music wise, and then like and also getting more knowledge, also getting more knowledge about the culture, even the business wise too.
Yeah, as I'll call myself a pedestrian in this industry, I see that the experience helps, but also, like you just said, you have to learn about the business if you're going to be in the business. Why do you think a lot of people, and I mean, I have various reasons in my head why this probably happens, but why do you think a lot of people may miss that you need to learn about the business as well, or learn about like you started from the CDs. So listening to the music is probably different, for you. So because you started with the CD, so you have more experience with that. Why do you think people don't do like artist development nowadays?
They just wanted the cash grab. Like they just want to make something that do something that's more than cash grab. But there's more to that because you gotta set yourself you gotta set yourself be prepared about what you want to do, or have longevity with this with this start like being surrounded. You gotta like be surrounded like with the folks who's come up to you, or how you gonna like set up, how you gonna like manage yourself, or if you want to do shows, or if you want to do merch, or do other things outside of the culture that. And then one thing that people had against us it has a little against us is streaming. Because people, even though that like folks don't use like whether it's like physical media now because of now, but that's why several artists that it's kind of like against it because of because they assuming that it never really was, because they keep changing up the way the ways that they earn something, and that kind of and that kind of like there's a lot of debatable things, and even when and especially with the and especially if it's like our own town, that and also support system is important. Support system is important. I didn't start. I started this by the time that I started this like since 2014. and I was already in the scene, but I was started like built with artists and built with artists and producer DJs and even some of the associates that I can see what they can do, but also I was learning even when I was learning like how to move the merge, how to set up a show and how to do and how to prepared prepared what you want to do, and even when also mentoring too.
I can tell you do that because as you are speaking, like I'm learning, I'm absorbing everything you're saying, just picturing it in my head. I can tell you have been around a lot of it. You've been on the business side, it sounds like, as well as like the artistry side, seeing the creative process come together. Do you have people who come to you, for that mentorship because you've been like in it for a while and you come with so much experience?
Not that much of it because I've been taught around that. I kind of like learning it myself, for most reason. I've been, even though that once I kind of saw how Griselda once I kind of saw the Griselda kind of make their moves, like when I started making because I didn't start doing music with them until like 2019. And then that kind of, and then that was when because like 5 years ago, like I was already I was already connected with the so I started this collective called Bar Association, which is I started putting together my own collective. Yeah, like my own team, because at the time, because at that time everybody has their own team, own crew, that they can crew, because because Buffalo or even anywhere that it's like a crew or collective mentality,
Clicks and stuff. Yeah,
it's cool.
you
But
get that
I
a
mean,
lot in cities.
I came in this game without it. Like I came in the game without it, and then it started like organized. It started organized like a little bit because by the time I started my own project, I started putting together my own project, and then I would start to build it like the chemistry, and that's when the early stuff was like it was just me, my partner, and this guy, Frigid Giant, who we formed Green Giant, and then Genesis.
Okay. Oh, so that's how you and Genesis go way back.
Well, the funny thing about me and Genesis that I met Genesis at the thing is that we knew each other when we was in the mall. He used to work at the mall at the time, and because I would spend a lot of time because this is when flea market was still open at the time.
Okay.
Yeah, the flea market was still open, and also I had a friend who she works at the mall too. And he was kind of aware of me. And I was already making beats, but not in the not how it was until like a couple years later. And then, but I met Jenna because he was already because Four Below was still making noise at the time. And once he started to branch off with his solo record, he was looking for like a legitimate producer, and I was like, and then I was kind of one. I was kind of a one, and then also, I met Genesis when he was still in a good shape.
Yeah, so you even saw that. I'm really enjoying the conversation because you're painting a picture of what it used to be, and kind of also shaping who Cee Gee is. What do you think are some of the, or who do you think some are the movers and shakers in the underground right now? And it doesn't necessarily have to be in Buffalo, but if there's some in Buffalo, go ahead and mention some.
I got it. I mean, I got to say, like, I mean, I gotta say, I gotta say that, like, well, from in Buffalo, like, or even outside, I gotta say Michelle Visa.
Oh, Michelle Visa.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. There's one song that she had put out a while back that I was really rocking to. I think I had saw the video somebody had posted on one of the social media platforms. Like she's so beautiful. People like Michelle Visa. Do you think it's harder for women in the industry to get put on versus the men?
I mean, it's kind of challenged because of that they're thinking that they're trying to compare it to like the women that was they think they're trying to get like another Cardi, another Meg, another Nicki vibes, but they want to hear something that's bars. They want like because we want to hear some of the bars like because even with myself even when myself even when myself I don't I had like few like I don't because I don't really work too many women in my production. Even when now, like since like even when now I have Dochi in my production through Westside Gunn, that kind of rise up the like kind of rise up my like the not only like the rise up my career, but also it gave more like female listeners.
Mm-hmm. It put
It gave
more
more.
eyes, different eyes on you now. So now people were familiar with you because of West Side and BSF and all of that. But now even the added layer with Dochi, and I was listening to the song earlier, that puts even more eyes on you. So now they can see that you work with males and females. Let me, can I ask you this also? There, you had said a little while back about the shifting in music and how at one time, and I can recall this, the rap seemed to be going away. Do you think that Nicki Minaj had a hand in kind of shifting what we're listening to now, because she kind of put that sound, that rap, that grunge sound back, I guess in the air in the airways. At least that's how I feel.
Well, she did kind of put the female rap back on the mainstream because
Mm-hmm.
it did kind of like it did because during like 2000s, the mid 2000s, it was a struggle time for the female rappers because
Yes.
it was a struggle time for female rappers because that was the time that like Foxy Brown and Little Kim was like they was going through legal problems, and then like a lot of other females that either they got shelved or even or dropped from the other labels or got like kind of got cold for a while. So it was kind of a little. Even Remy was doing her thing at the time, and then she turned herself in during that
Mm.
period. So Nikki so around like 2000 or even the early late even like late 2000 or early 2010s, it did kind of like picks it did kind of picks back up, and then it picks back up in mainstream, and then around the underground scene, Rhapsody was kind of like the which I kind of dig more because of because of my favorite producer, Knife Wonder. He the one that kind of puts her on the scene, and look at how she is now.
Mm.
And then like and then after Nicki, you got Meg, you got Cardi and City Girls and a lot of the other females that even like today, got like Sexy Red and then Glorilla and then Ice Spice and then I'm kind of even like the Dolce for example that they can do the type of rap so it kind of like give like the next wave. It did kind of last about like 15 years.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like as far as like to keep it as far as keep it going and like. But yeah, so it was definitely like kind of brought the grunge back, and then but back to what we were saying, back I want to get back what I said. So even when I have more like listening female listeners, so even when like this new record I just put out, even with this new album I just put out, I have more female artists in my project than in my previous one, with the exception of with the exception of the first album.
Are you surprised that more females are entering this industry than it was back when, because there was a time when it was Salt and Pepper and Queen Latifah, and it was a different kind of look. It wasn't as, I don't want to say like the SEX was not as promoted during a particular time. So some of the women that are coming out, like I think Doechii is dope. Yeah. That freaking song. I mean, there's a few songs. She gives me that hip hop 90s vibe as well. Just listening to her music, even that My Anxiety, that gives me, I don't know, what would you say that type of song gives you? What I mean,
be honest, I haven't got a chance. I heard of her name, but I didn't get a chance to listen to the crazy thing is that I didn't get a chance to listen to the project, because her project came out around the time I graduated. Her project came out around the time I got my GED. Okay.
Oh, I remember that. Didn't you? Okay. All right.
Yeah, I just really got my GED.
Okay. Do you feel that, because sometimes when, like, you obviously you hadn't gotten your GED at one point in time, was it hard for you to go back and do that?
Well, I had I was in process of me getting my GED. I was in process with my GED because I had to really like get my GED because like my educational background is kind of all over. Because I come from a special education background, because I used to go to the school called Summit. It's now, it was called something else, but right now is back then, but now it's like Summit, which is, it was located in Tonawanda, but now it's in Gainesville. And then I've been going to like BOCES. I've been going to like I said like earlier was Applicational Training Center. And then, I've been spending like 2 years, like, because I was like going for like job related process, like set things up for my future. And I was kind of, and then like I took 2 years off, like once I had my job and all, and then I had a little situation with like my work by that point, and then I gotta have something in that, like to set my they need something new. And that's when I started enroll and get my G, because I started enroll back to, since 2014. That was around the same time. That's around the same time I started to do. I started pursuing, start getting a music scene in Buffalo. So I was balanced. I was balanced from that, and then started pursuing like my music career, and working 9 to 5. But by that point, I left it alone once COVID. I left it alone when COVID hit, and then after 2 years lifted, when things got lifted, I went back to school. I went back to school, and then almost 2 years later, I got my GED.
See, and people sometimes limit their abilities and think that they can't do it, or think that they aren't on time. Did you ever have a feeling like, oh, I shouldn't do this because it's too late? Did you ever have that, tell yourself that, like, it's too late? Because it's so awesome that you did it, and I'm so glad that we're talking about it, because the prayer is that somebody who does not have their GED or thinking about going to get it will look at you as an inspiration. Like, even though you had certain things happen in your life, and even though at one point you may have not gone to this particular school, you still went back and got what you felt like you needed to do in order to be successful in your life. Do you think that more people should feel like they can do that? And what made you realize that you were able to do that and do it for yourself?
I mean, I feel like I mean, I want to set it simple that, like, you know, I'm just a guy that can do beats and then still collecting physical media, and then I at least I have something. At least I have something that because I want to have something that I'm proud of myself. Like, you know, that was like one of the things. That was one of the most key moments of my life. It's like it just I crossed that I got my cap and gown and I crossed Papa at my stage, and then that sets up. It sets up it set up this project I just put out, the Rewind, Press Play, Fast Forward.
Oh, explain, elaborate the title.
Rewind, Press Play, Fast Forward. So I was working. So 2 years ago, nearly 2 years ago, I put out a project called Downtown Raphael, and that was my last solo. And then, I did a whole album with Genesis. This is our second joint. It's called Product of the '90s, and then
which is dope, by the way.
Yep, and then a couple months later, I did the Green Oil Bros with me and Deuce Ellis. So we did the production together, and then by the time that 2014, 24 was about to start somewhere around, I started putting together my next project. Originally, it was supposed to be Green Stalker, because I was going to start do like a half hip hop, a half R&B project. That was my initial project I was going to do, because like some of the songs that I was a working title at the time. And the reason why I didn't go further, because at the time I was starting to get like I was starting to get like, you know, I started to get requests on like you know, that people want to hear what I got in my stash, because people don't know that people do know or don't know that I make 20-10 beats a day.
That's how creative you are. Oh wow.
Yeah, because I mean, it's all started from spent time on the computer, and also I gather everything prepared, and then, you know, plus anybody knows my artistry now, and then they want to hear what I got, and then what the toughest thing that I had to save for the project, and then they want to hear what I got. So it was just like it was tough to tuck some of the joints in, and then I wasn't focused enough at the time. And then another thing that I didn't do was I was processing moving and also school at the time. And then
life, doesn't it? It's sometimes it seems like it's tough to juggle the life that be life and the passion that drives us to create these things that we create, whether it's the music, you know, the composition, or that writer or the rapper that's writing out the bars. When life is life, and it tends to sometimes be a little bit heavier to hold that load. What helps you? And it might be creating that helps. What helps you get up and be like, okay, I'm going to do this right now because it's really making me happy. And even though I'm going through these things, it's really making me, it's a means to the end. What drives you to do that?
I mean, I'm always like, I'm always sitting in the room, and anytime I'm in my bed, or I'm out and about, or I'm sitting in this room right now, like I always have a little think of thoughts about, okay, like what can I do then, or what can I do now, or what's my next thoughts, because I always plan things like ahead of time. I don't like when things come across me like the last minute.
You like to be prepared.
Yeah, I always like to be prepared. Like I don't like when folks try to tell, and then you never know what my other situation I might be playing or playing because even when like whether it's I'm especially if I'm booked especially if I'm booked if I book to go to the show or do the show or go to the event or go out of town and go or go spend time with folks. I like to be I like to be organized. So I've been that dude since doing that since like growing up because especially like so that it always a problem like you're trying to be on time and all, but then that was like that was like the start. That was like the what kind of like and then and plus making beats is like it's like a therapeutic for me. It's like I choose the sound and then whether I want to make something that's harder or make something chill, whether I make something that's like like nothing like I mean I don't because I really don't like people when trying to make hits. But I mean I don't like calling hits. I call it like timeless. Like because I really don't describe myself as making any thoughts because anytime that like like I can hear somebody that when I make beats I can hear somebody can rap on this or even sing on this or even some of the stuff I just made something like a little bit like don't contain because I like listening because I like to listen to beat tapes. I like listening to beat tapes because I don't want to because I'm not in the mood of listening to lyrics or vocals. I want to hear something that I want to hear something that that like the beat like all the producers put together the vibes and then like and then that kind of inspired me to get to it. And even when I do my own beat tapes too.
What? How do you feel about sampling? And do you do it?
Well that's how I started. Yeah, that's
A lot of people. Yeah. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, that's how. Yeah, I mean, that's how. I mean, that's how I start. That's how I started. That's how I started my career
With sampling. Some people, it seems like I talk to various people. Some people are against it. Some people are for it. Some people can take it and make it sound wonderful if they do it right. And you seem to be doing an okay job. I want to talk about this latest project that you were just on. Talk to us a little bit how that even came about.
Oh, well, back where I was with. So we want to press play fast forward. So after I graduated, so after I graduated, like I started. I really want to start. I really want to start put together my a new project because after I took a little hiatus from everything, like still trying to process the move in and also the with school and all, and I started wanting to put together new music, and then I really want to start putting together new music, and then that's how like originally it was supposed to be EP, but then I started with the album. So I named We Want Press Play Fast Forward because that like because like because it's a twist it's a twist title as a past, present, and future. Because we want to your past, press play to now, and fast forward to your future.
I love that title.
Yep, and it's like and it's also like an ode to like the videotape and video camera era.
Oh, the VHS,
like,
yeah.
And and also cassettes era too.
Oh, sure enough.
Yeah. Yeah. So
as we oh, go ahead.
So that's what the title means, and then also it's my commemorate of my 10-year. It's also my commemorate of like my 15 year. So like even though now we're going like with 16, 11, 6 years, but last year I was going to like 15 year, 15 years since I made my first beat. 10 years since I made my first. 10 years since I made my first. I've been in the Buffalo scene. 5 years since. 5 years since the people started hearing me was the Westside Gunn, Bro and Joe's, the song. That was like 2019, and now since I got my GED. So that's like every 5 years.
That's awesome. I love how you look at it that way. So to me, what I'm hearing is that you realize that it takes, years to even make certain things happen. I like how you broke that down, because some people out there may be in a place where they feel like they are not doing enough, or they think that they're too late in their life. And it's like, I like how you broke down, like like 15 years ago, this is where I was. 10 years ago, this is where I was. 5 years ago, this is where I was. And now, you know what I mean? Here I am now. So there's a whole bunch of growth that you did in between all of that time. So thank you for sharing that with us. Do you, as far as the music, do you think that this is something that, a lot of people don't realize is it, like, your passion became a part of your purpose? I feel like, do you feel that, like, the passion that you had when you were listening to those CDs became a part of the purpose that you have now?
It just put together organically. It just like I never really talk about it, or I never really thought about it. I just let it happen, because it just I came from let's check it out, or making it to it, and then one thing and another, it's like I kind of I seen it went because I enjoyed it, especially me, me, I'm going like, me go, since now that, the fans knew who I was, like, they love that I can still do music. I can still support folks. I still like, collecting media. Like physical and all, because I'm a huge collector myself.
Are you? Do you collect vinyl albums as well?
Everything.
Do you before because I'm not going to hold you long, and I see we're already going over an hour. Let me ask you your top 5, and I want you, if you can, to include independent as well as mainstream, and it can be a producer, just anybody in the industry, just top 5 people that you would love to work with right now, or even in the future you want to manifest that, even if it's fashion.
Man, my top 5 has got to be like my top 5 has got to be like I kind of want to work with I can see myself working with Q-Tip.
Ooh, I can see that. Definitely, I can see that.
Yeah, because Tribe Called Quest has been kind of raised me, because and also raised my my style too, inspiration, because and plus Jay Dilla, who rest in peace, so was the producer from Detroit. He the one that kind of got what was got help by Q-Tip, and I wouldn't be noticed by him. And also it kind of inspired, from me put together my own collective, which Q-Tip came from Native Tongues.
Wow. So we are going to manifest that. We are definitely going to manifest that with Q-Tip. I love that you say that, because you are like that walking era. If when people meet you out and about, because I know you're gonna, this is just the beginning for you. They're gonna see so much of the influence. You ever think about doing any of the fashion walks, as far as like if that trend continues to grow, have you ever thought about doing that?
Not I'm not sure I want to go further with the fashion though, but I do want to kind of go further. I do want to kind of go further with like, just making doing the production, or even I'm in this transition. I'm trying to get into engineering. Yeah, I'm in just getting interested in engineering, because like because I'm trying to set up like a studio, so like I learn how to like comes around a lot of artists, but then like but I gotta find like more home for a place to where they can record. And then even when now and also I do want to kind of this is actually the first time I talked to, or I think I said this on the other podcast, but I do want to start speaking to folks too. Like, going, I kind of want to go to like, go to school to go to a program about like, because I have a speech impediment.
Yeah, that's but you're still doing like the speaking. You're still doing it, which is awesome, because there's somebody listening that might have that same speech impediment. That's why I said earlier, like I always like to highlight to people, like, you realize that you are representative of certain things, and although like when we are younger, a lot of times people make it seem like it's a negative. Like, you have this speech impediment, which is anybody listening can hear us. But even with that, you still didn't let it stop you from going to get your GED or making the beats, like doing what you are purposed to do. Even with that, you get what I'm saying?
And plus, I came from a special education school too.
Even more.
Because like, even now I have friends that have kids, so I want to kind of have kids now. So even I'm not a parent, and I want to kind of like start talking to folks. I want to start talking to folks about like what they can do. Just trying to get into the goals that how I do, because I didn't start thinking about me starting to get into music until like I was 19. Now I'm 35, and then and then I was like kind of only one that the school I came from that who has a I'm the only one that that's from the east side of Buffalo that come from a special education, who work with the guys who got deals with Jay-Z and Eminem.
You better speak on it. Speak on it. Speak on it. In the adversity that you had to face. You know what I mean? Like, that's why I love doing this show, because I want to highlight real people who's doing real stuff out here. And even though you may have had some adversity in your life, because at the end of the day, it's about how much you are willing to put into it, how consistent you want to be, how much work you want to put into it. And are you going to take yourself seriously enough to know that you can do it, because you've done it and you continue to do it?
Right. And also I take my time with it too, because like, I don't like kind of like rushing do, because like, I had to think about it before. I had to think about it like, okay, what are the steps? So because like, I get a little fretted about with the things I'm getting to. I had to kind of like have a little thoughts about that. So that was kind of important. It was kind of important because like, because like, even when I was younger, I didn't want to speak about the school I came from, because me and my friends at the time that we was kind of like against about the school we came from, because we have friends around that don't not even familiar with the school. Had those questions like, no. But now that we're older now, it's like even though the school system right now is like the mess, and then I'm glad that I'm out of that. Like I'm glad that I'm out of that before they start to get a little bit hectic more. and then I can't really like, and then after I got my GED, that I can't go further. Everything. I don't want to go further ever again.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad you did that for yourself and to anybody that's watching who have gone to schools that may not have been like the public schools that some people went to, or, may have, had some things that wasn't, that may have held them back a little bit in life, but you didn't let this hold you back in life. So I just want to say you continue doing what it is that you are doing because it's working for you, and continue to work on you, and don't let this world tell you that you can't go further than where you have already gone. Because your whole demeanor tells me that, you know what I mean? And just the way you are moving, sometimes it's just as simple as us just moving out the way and letting go and letting God, and getting people out of our lives that's no longer serving us. At least that's what it's been for me. So my last question for you, have you had to like stop being around certain circles as you are growing in your business?
It depends who was taking advantage of you.
Yeah.
It depends on who was taking advantage of me, because I mean like, because like I was at a point, because like, I take a lot of risks. I take a lot of risks in my life that, like, I take a lot of risks about like certain people that who was around it, or who was in your circle, who was trying to get into that, they're trying to get into some riskiness, and I'm trying not to like get into it in my life, especially, I made it to 35, like I made it to 35 without I made it to 35 without getting a handcuffs or being in a hospital bed, or getting something that you're gonna be hearing something online. And so I just totally like, just trying like and then that's why that like I hardly now that like I go, now that I go out every now and then, but now it's like, and now I'm at a point, because especially I'm in the height, especially I'm in the like the in the height of the of it. I kind of like I had to limit it my I had to kind of limit myself with it, especially and also the scene is kind of went different once after.
It's definitely different.
It kind of like once after when COVID hit, and then once the shows started to get back open, it just totally went different. And then I kind of like, I don't be too many places like I was 10 years ago, and I haven't really been out. I mean, even though there are some now, but I'm not, because I'm doing this, and also once after I'm gonna get off of this, I'm about to be getting back to like on my computer or looking at things up there, set up the next thing I'm gonna do working on, because and then I got a lot of and then especially with especially I got a merch I'm gonna get ready to do, and also I got I don't know if you saw, but I got a show. I'm about to get ready. I got my first beat show after this album came out in Rochester.
Oh, I didn't know that. What date?
June 21st.
Okay, in Rochester. Is it at is it at a facility? At where is it going to be?
It's Rochester Jazz Fest.
Oh, that's what's up. Congratulations.
Yeah,
okay.
It's during Rochester Jazz Fest.
Okay. Listen, I'm applauding you, and I'm always watching. I keep my eye on the people that I see moving and shaking, especially in the industry. And as I'm learning about the music and arts culture in general here in Buffalo, make sure y'all check out Cee Gee. Let them know where they can follow you on your social medias. Is it Columbus Green across all social medias?
Facebook it is, but on other platforms is Cee Gee 1990 on Instagram. Cee Gee is Cee Gee 1990, and then Cee Gee 520 on X, or Twitter, I'll still say it. And then also you can support my music on Bandcamp, Cee Gee Incorporated, and then and see my other stuff on Spotify, Apple, and all. And I got physicals in production for my latest album. And keep in mind, this is only side A. This is only
really.
This is only side A. I'm working on because this is a double album. I'm putting together for the side B.
Are you looking for any artists to collaborate with, or is it you are going to reach out to those people that you feel? Do you ever hear, and I keep asking questions, but I think you might have said this, do you ever hear a particular person when you're making a beat, like this person need to be on this beat?
Sometimes, sometimes whether on a project mode or whoever interested, because anytime that when I'm on a project mode or I can hear that what Wes want to hear or wherever he want to have somebody that hear what I got, because also he curates too.
Okay.
Yeah, because I don't really been too many. I haven't been too. I'm only been like 3 projects. Westside Gunn, and even he. I'm only been like 3 projects that Westside Gunn did, and even the other stuff that he curates on different artists. Yeah, so but I did 6 altogether. But I haven't been done too many Westside Gunn projects. And even when I do my own, even when I do my own. Even when I do my own albums, I don't also do my crew, my bar association crew, because I curate for them, and I just I like the balance to that, balance to that. So side B is because also side B is that because I have certain artists that that didn't make it to the side A will definitely get a chance to do side B.
Oh, so that's good.
I'm already having some beats on the side and songs that that was supposed to be for other projects that didn't wind up on the other side B. So I'm definitely working on that. And I have other projects that I have with that. And I got and also with this Rochester show, not only I'm on the show, but I got like G4 Jack is on the bill. Derringer, who was he's the main producer for Grip with Zelda. He's headlining. Love the Genius is on the show. Is on the show. So yeah, it's definitely like the lineup is
it sounds like a good lineup. What day is it in June again?
June 21st. I think it's like the first or second day of the
Jazz Fest.
Yeah, because the thing is happening. The Jazz Fest is happening all week.
Oh, okay. Okay, so make sure y'all get out to the Rochester Jazz Fest to see Cee Gee. I'm going to put how to contact you in the show notes once I do I need to do.
And also the tickets are on sale now.
Okay. I'll if you have a link to the ticket, send it to me, and that way I might be able to put it right in the notes as well.
I'll send it soon after. I'll send it soon after we click out.
Okay. Well, I'm going to go ahead and end it right here. Let me pause it right here.